Hey, this is Tom. Thanks for stopping by. And this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And we're talking about this new to me, and this is a brand new radio. It's been out for a while, the Tecsun Pl-310ET. And it comes with the radio, a manual, and a pair of earbuds, and a case. Right there's the case. And unfortunately for me, these tiny little, if it's in the palm of my hand, these tiny little manuals, I can read them, but it's not fun. So I went on the internet and found a PDF file with the manual, and I was able to print out in a form that I can read. So we're going to talk in general about this radio in this show, and then later on in another show I'll actually do some reception testing and show you some of the functions. This radio is just packed with functions. It's got so many functions, unbelievable. It's got, I would guess, and I think I'm right here, it's got as many functions as, let me see if I can get it out of the case here, as this baby right here. This is the PL-680. And like I say, they're very similar in the number of functions and stuff like that. So we're going to go over that. The display is very similar, except this is a much bigger radio, so the display is nice and big. Nice big display. This display is, it's fine for me, and I don't have very good eyes, so it's okay. So this radio, I think the 680 is about $100, and right now the Pl-310ET is $41 or $42. So that's the difference there. Okay, I'm going to use these two pages right here, which lists the buttons on the radio and what's on the display, to give you some idea of what this thing can do. Now, I did a kind of a walk around with the Tecsun Pl-380, so you can go back to that show. And again, these are very similar as far as functions. They're very similar. They both have the ETM function. They both have scanning on medium wave, AM, and shortwave. And on shortwave, there's two ways to scan. One is within a international broadcast band, and the other one is to scan all of the international broadcast bands. They do not, on shortwave, scan the entire shortwave band. Okay? All right. So let's look at some of these things here. We'll move the radio away for a minute. And just an update. When I did the previous video, I didn't have batteries in it. That's why the display was blank. My mistake. And I make a lot of them. Okay. So these are the buttons on the radio, which there are a lot of buttons on the radio. You've got power on and off. Big deal, power on and off. We've got display lock, and you can change what's on the display. I think that's only applicable when the radio is on. Okay, so right now, when I pushed it once, it's now displaying an alarm time. And if I go back, I think maybe it goes through. Okay, here it's displaying the temperature. And depending on whether you have the radio set for 9 kilohertz increments or 10, which is what you use in the United States, it will display either centigrade or Fahrenheit. And it says, right now, it's 75 degrees in my workshop, and if I look at another thermometer, yes, it says 75 degrees. So pretty accurate. It will get affected, of course, if you've got the radio on. It'll tend to heat up the thermistor a little bit. I've never tested how much. So anyway, light snooze button, which is right there. that button, that turns the light on. There it is. There you can tell the light's on. Or if you have the radio set up to come on using the timer function, you can push that button and it's a snooze button. You know how that works. Okay. Easy tuning button is right there. I don't know why I'm showing you the button. It's not a big deal. The variable memory or variable frequency button that allows you to either use the tuning knob to tune by frequency or to tune through the memories that you stored in the radio. It has 550 memories. Oh my gosh. Never used that many. I wouldn't use 100. Okay. Bandwidth. As I mentioned before, you can change the bandwidth when you're listening to, I believe it works on AM, both medium wave and shortwave. Don't think it works on FM. But you get 4. You get 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, maybe that's 5. You get 4 or 5. Bandwidth. Nice feature. Especially in this little radio. $41. Gee whiz. ATS function. That again scans the bands, and it depends on what band you're in, whether it's AM or FM or shortwave. Will do different things, slightly different things, to look for strong stations. Now, they could be noise, so you have to treat that with a grain of salt. It also, this radio will receive long wave. Not too useful where I am in Florida, United States. I've never picked up a long wave station. But over in Europe, there's a lot of long wave stations. So it will tune long wave. You have to turn it on, turn long wave on. You got another great thing about this radio, it's got a keypad. So you can direct tune a frequency. Just punch in the numbers, boom, it goes there. Nice feature. Got a memory button so you can go into the memories and add frequencies to the memories, delete them, or jump to them. Has the alarm, of course, as I mentioned before. Has this one, the 310, has this external FM and shortwave antenna jack. Very important feature as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Set the time. You can set the alarm. These functions, these buttons up here. Has a headphones jack. Has the USB jack for if you've got rechargeable batteries in here, you can recharge those batteries in the radio. I don't typically do that. I don't want to have an explosion or a leaky battery in the radio. So I charge my rechargeable batteries in a charger. And I believe you can use the USB port here to actually power the radio. I think you can do that. Seems like I recall that on the 380. And you got the telescopic antenna, which is not very long. Matter of fact, we can see, do I have a ruler? I don't have a ruler, but kind of eyeball it. It's pretty short. Oops, I just kicked the camera. Okay, let's see if I can give you some idea. There it goes. Right there. I would say 1, 2, maybe 30 inches, I'm guessing, but about 30 inches. Not very long, and that's where using an external antenna comes into play. Because, whoops, I don't, oh gee whiz, break off the antenna. It's got a kickstand. I love these little kickstands to put these things on a nice viewable angle. And it has the volume knob and the tuning knob over here. Tuning knob feels very sturdy, I'll call it. And of course, takes 3 AA batteries right in there. And it can be rechargeable, and it has a rechargeable function which you can turn on and turn off. Now you have to me, that tells me you got to be a little careful in that if you have just regular alkaline batteries, and you say, oh, I want to run it on the external adapter. If you got it set to recharge batteries, it'll try to recharge those alkaline batteries. You know what'll happen there. Okay, so you don't want to make that mistake. Now let's look at, I like the manuals that show the display and show all the possibilities of things that can be on display, because a lot of them you'll never see. So this has a battery consumption, which is right there. I probably ought to set this radio down. Let me do that and see if I can zoom in enough so I'm not moving it and moving it and moving it. Okay. See how far I can zoom in. Yeah, that's a lot better. I'll keep the radio still, and then I can just point to things. Be careful I don't jab it. Got a little, matter of fact, it's got fingerprints on the display already. So on the display we have the battery indicator, which is right here. It tells you the strength of the batteries that are installed. We have a sleep indicator right under here. When we turn it on, you'll probably see more things with it turned on. Yeah, turn the sound down. And you notice that it gives you an indication of the volume level once you start changing the volume. Gives you a numeric. And that's another thing about these radios from Tecsun. They have a lot of information on the display. Lots of information. Okay. You got the alarm indicators that'll be on up here when they're on. You got the temperature right here. It's 76 degrees. Warming up a little bit with all my hot breath. You got a AM and FM not showing up right here for some reason. Because I'm not AM and I'm not FM. I'm stereo. I mean, a shortwave. I just spit all over myself. Jeez, what a dummy. Also, this radio has, and I'm not sure why it's not on. You probably have to push something to show it. What do I have to push? Probably the display button. Let me find the display button. There's time. There's what I wanted. Okay, so on the display, you can show the temperature, you can show the time, or you can show what's equivalent to an S meter, except it's in units. And you have two numbers. The number on the left, I believe, is signal strength in dBu. Okay? Bigger the number, the better, typically. Another one, which I'm going to do a little experimenting with, I've forgotten all about this function, is the signal to noise ratio. How strong the signal is that you're listening to compared to the background noise. So I'm going to use that function to go back and test some antennas, the dipole antenna versus the vertical antenna, to see if what I saw on my computer using a SDR, the noise level was higher, much higher, for the dipole antenna. I just want to do an experiment to see if I get the same type of indication on this display. Okay. What else we have? We have alarm indicator. Again, it's not being shown because I don't have the alarm on. The meter band indicator. Now, where does that show up? That is number 8. Number 8 is down here. Now, I should be, no, I'm not. Okay, let's go down. Well, let's do it this way. 9500. Okay, there it showed up, 31 meter band. Showed up there for a second. Let me see if I hit display, if that'll come up as one of the, there's alarm, there's the temperature, there's time, and there's the signal strength and signal to noise. And maybe if I turn this, yeah, when I turn to tune it, it comes up with the meter band in the same area. Lots of functions, lots of functions. Okay. ETM indicator means that it's in the ETM mode scanning. And the tuning speed, whether it's fast or slow, shows up down here. Right now, since I'm not tuning, it shows that it's in the slow tune mode, and it's tuning by kilohertz. The faster you turn the tuning knob, it'll switch modes, and it'll then show megahertz. Okay. Ooh. I don't know if I'm going to get through all these functions. Okay, then the big numeric display of the frequency in kilohertz, in this case, megahertz if you're in FM. And if the radio is off, which I'll turn it off right this minute, it shows the time in 24-hour units. And then there's a display up here that tells you that you have locked the keyboard. So you can lock the keyboard so you don't accidentally change anything. So you can do that. FM stereo indicator button that comes up over here, right in this area. And whether it thinks you have nickel metal hydride batteries for charging, which is an indication that the radio is in a charge mode, and you can change that. Right now, that's what it's saying that I have in there, but I don't, because I haven't changed that function. So that's a warning to me not to hook up an external power source to that USB port. Okay, I think that's about it. Let me see if there's anything else that I've missed. The backlight here. These radios from Tecsun have very good black backlights. It won't show up very well with all my lights on. No, it doesn't show up very well. I think that's about all. And it does have, as indicated in the manual here, it has these beeps. You heard them when I was pushing the buttons. And depending on what button or what has happened, the beep will tell you different things depending on the number of beeps, whether it's one beep or two beeps or whatever. So that's a little more feedback. Very intelligent radio. So that's kind of walk around on the radio. I'll be doing some more shows on this radio, especially on reception and the different functions. Like I say, I have done a couple of shows on the, let me zoom back out, you can't see it, on the Pl-310, which is very similar, and I showed you the various functions on the 380, so I may not repeat some of those stuff. I'll mention it, maybe I'm not actually exercise it, so to speak. So anyway, that's the show, and right now I've used it a little bit, and I'm pretty excited. I do like this series, the 310 and the 380. I really like this series. They're nice, compact. They have a lot of functions similar to the big PL680 or 660, and they're much smaller and lighter for carrying around. can carry these in your coat pocket, or you could even carry them in your shirt pocket, but I wouldn't advise that. You definitely wouldn't want to drop these. The weight, I don't know if there's any specs on the weight with the batteries. Oh, here's the specifications. Let's just talk a second about specifications. And I compared the specifications of this radio, the 380 and the 310, and they're identical as far as, for instance, sensitivity and selectivity. So let's just jump to shortwave. Shortwave sensitivity is less than 20 microvolts. Pretty small number. That's pretty good. The selectivity of shortwave is greater than 60 dB at a bandwidth of 3K. Okay? Again, it has 550 memories. That's about it. Okay. If you enjoyed this show, please give me a thumbs up. That little button up there, just push that button and that's all you have to do. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It makes it easier for yourself, because one of the things excuse me, that YouTube has done recently is when you click the subscribe button below each video, you don't have to do it once, there's another little bell icon. If you click that bell icon, it gives you the options to be notified by email when a new video has been posted by that channel. Very convenient. I use that a lot. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.